Welcome to Alphabetical Anime. I'm Galen with a G. I'm here to review every anime that I can reasonably find. I have a tendency to watch a lot of anime. It pretty much replaced regular television about 2 years ago. So I've been through just about everything I can get my hands on. Some of it I like, some of it I don't like. My son and I had a crazy idea, and so now I'm going them through them alphabetically. I will give every single episode, every single show, at least one full episode, but I promise no more than that because some of them I consider completely unwatchable. But that's just my opinion. It may not be yours. Anyway, so with every single anime, I'm going to go through. I'm going to tell you the name of the anime. I'm going to tell you a quick plot line for it. I'm going to give you the number of episodes I watched and the number of total episodes. I'm going to give you the year it was released. I'm going to give you a rating from 1 to 100. 0 if I ever find that one. I'll tell you whether I recommend it or not. And that's just simply my personal opinion about it. And finally, any other commentary I might have on that particular anime. This first one's going to be a pretty short one. It is all the numerical and other things that happen besides from letters. So we've only got about 13 episodes to go through right now. When we get on to the other letters, it was maybe a bit longer episodes. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with .hack sign. .hack sign is basically a story about somebody trapped in an MMORPG and a bunch of people who try to figure out what's going on and why. It's got 26 episodes, and I've watched all of them. It was released in 2002, and I'd give it a rating of about 82. I consider it quite enjoyable. It's got a solid plot. It's got solid character development. It's got some enjoyable twists. I definitely recommend it. It's actually one of the earliest animes I ever watched. It may not be the first one, but it's one of the earliest. It's the earliest example of trapped in an MMORPG. And it still holds well by the test of time. Of course, finding it is a pain. And your best bet, unfortunately, is to buy it if you actually want to watch it. I actually bought it on DVD when it was out years ago. Anyway, it's a great anime. There's great character development. It's got a good plot. The only real complaint I have about it is the intro music tends to get on my nerves eventually. Anyway, so we're going to move on. The next one is .hack Legend of the Twilight. It's a bad sequel of .hack sign without any of the adult themes. Sorry, that's all it is. I watched one episode. There are currently 12, and it was released in 2003. I rated it 10, and I don't recommend anyone watching it. Frankly, it felt like .hack babies. It felt like they decided to take something good, bordering on great, and say, well, let's strip out all the complicated stuff and make it as simple as possible for children. It made no sense at all to me. It is the worst example of a sequel I've seen in a long time. Moving on, next one, .hack Roots, and it's just another weak entry into the .hack. It kind of moved on to teenagers. I watched 3 episodes out of 26. It was released in 2006, and it's slightly better than .hack Legend of Twilight. I gave it a 15, and I don't recommend it at all. So after that, we get into an odd one. Sea Control, The Money and Soul of Possibility. Basically, you gain wealth and power in this through monetary combat, which is a odd concept. There are 11 episodes, and I've watched all of them. It was released in 2011, and I give it about a 69, and I recommend it. It's probably not for everyone, because it's definitely odd. You get people fighting each other with weird monetary concepts to beat each other and defeat the other guy, at which point in time in the real world you get money and power yourself. The best players are, people who can change the world. But if you fail, you go bankrupt and you kind of disappear from the world. It's odd, but enjoyable. Anyway, after that, we move on to 009, RE Cyborg. And frankly, it's James Bond with girl cyborgs. That's the simplest description I got for it. I watched a whole episode. There were 12. It was released in 2006. I give it about a 27. I don't really recommend it unless you do want to watch James Bond with girl cyborgs. After that, we move on to 18 If. This is a weird one. It's witches, pop idols, and sadism. At least that's episode 1, and that's as far as I got. There are 13 episodes. It was released in 2017. I give it about a 20, and I don't really recommend it. You might enjoy it if you're into the whole pop idol culture, but even then, it's just plain strange. In episode 1, they change all the guys to girls so that they can go through pop idol school in an alternate realm run by a sadistic woman with a whip. Whatever. Anyway, we'll continue on here. Next one is 2.43 Sign High School Boys Volleyball Team. It's a high school volleyball redemption story. I watched an episode. There were 12, released in 2021. Give it about a 19. I don't really recommend it unless you're really into sports anime. It's an old, tired story. Guy gets kicked out of volleyball team because of attitude, goes to another team and is trying to figure out how to make things work. That's, all I see. Okay, next one we move on to is Seven Seeds. It's kind of a brutal future where people have been put in suspended animation and woke back up. And there's a whole series of seed populations, thus 7 seeds. I watched about half the series. I think there's even a second series by now, but I don't know. So 6 out of 12 episodes. It was released in 2019. I'm giving it a 43, but I personally don't recommend it. I didn't really enjoy it that much. If you enjoy survival anime, yeah, but other than that, it's just a bunch of kids waking up after an apocalypse and trying to survive. It's not that great. Okay, now we're going to move on to 8-Man. I describe this as a Superman / Dick Tracy ripoff. I've watched 2 episodes. There's 56 of them, but it was released in 1963. So you're really going to only want to watch this if you enjoy really old anime or TV. And it feels like really old anime or TV. 1 second. Okay. I rated it 20 just because I didn't find it particularly watchable. If you like old serials, you would like this. Otherwise, you're not going to enjoy it. I don't see any way you do. Anyway, let's move on. 801 TTS Airbats. This feels like it's an ad for the Air Force Division. I watched 1 episode out of the whole 7. It was released in 1994. I rated it about a 12. I don't recommend it for anyone. The characters are thin and annoying, and it's girls flying planes is all it is. Okay, so we're going to move on. Next one is 86. It's a haves versus have-nots show. There's a lot of psychodrama involved. I've watched about 6 out of the 23 episodes. It was released in 2021. I give it about a 37. I don't recommend it. I didn't enjoy it tremendously, but I'm sure some people would. There's a lot of dark future stuff. Everybody's gonna die, but you've got the exiled people who are fighting for the haves, and you've got somebody who's communicating with them, and they fight to save the haves, and of course the drama that goes through that person's life because they aren't actually handling the fact that these people are probably dying for them very well. It's different, but I just didn't enjoy it that much personally. I'm not a big dark drama fan. Finally, the last entry is 91 Days.
Before you do that, what did you rate it?
Oh, yeah. I rated it a 37, and I don't recommend it. For the reasons I already stated. Okay, we're on to our final entry, 91 Days. It's basically Prohibition era gangsters. I watched 1 out of 12 episodes. It was released in 2016. I give it about a 48. It actually seemed like it was pretty watchable. I'm just not into Prohibition era gangsters. I would go ahead and watch it for anybody who is. I'd recommend it. But me personally, yeah, it's just guys trying to get to the top of a heap in that era. There's not that much to it for me. That's it. That is everything. And I am Alan with a G signing out.